Hello, it's Leanne Phillipson, registered nutritionist here today on self-isolation and hashtag cook together. For me, it's self-isolation day 7. If you're watching this way in advance and we're past all of this and you're just watching this for some new inspiration, welcome along and thanks so much for being here. Today, well, first of all, how are you doing? Today on day 7's feeling a little tense around where I am. So cooking sometimes helps give that a little bit of a release, just gives you something else to focus on for a little bit. Hopefully you find, if you've watched this or any of the other videos, or you're watching this for the first time, then hopefully you're finding this to be a bit more of a relaxing time. Around 5 o'clock every day is when I'm doing this. So today, from my book, Right Family Food, I'm making the rainbow rice wraps. And this is actually a recipe that I called rainbow rice wraps because it's so important to try and eat, or just eat a rainbow of fruits and vegetables every single day. So, so this is a perfect place to make some of these, and I've got a bit of here's some I made earlier. So this is where we're aiming for with these beautiful rainbow rice wraps. So let's go through and let me show you how to make these things. So first of all, the beginning of the week or whatever day you manage to get to this, if it's today, tomorrow, it doesn't really matter when, but I do love to try and have a whole container full of a whole bunch of vegetables like this. It doesn't matter what it is. If you've got limited vegetables right now, it's totally fine. Maybe use some green beans or some sugar snap peas, or get a line of frozen peas into these. It really doesn't matter. The point is that these are all going into this. It will be wobbly soon, I'll show you in a minute. It's going inside this, and then it's going in your mouth and then into your body or into your child's body. So that's what's most important in all of this. And if the whole thing falls apart on the plate, that's okay. You can just sit there and eat it. So to get to some of these being chopped up really nice and small, let me go through this for you. I had those prepared earlier. So some of the recipes that I'm gonna make coming up will also use a bunch of these vegetables. So it's great because by about day 3 or 4, it's these are perfect to use in the quesadilla, for instance, or in a pizza, for instance. So once you've done this original prep, which can take like 10 or 15 minutes, then you're good to go. So so it's a good practice to get into. So let me just get rid of, with this big fat juicy pepper. Peppers not loved by everybody. My eldest daughter is not a fan of peppers at all, so we try and keep those out for her. Or sometimes if it's mixed in with something, then maybe she doesn't notice it quite so much. And then we just chop these guys up, and the thinner the better, but just depending on your knife skills. If you've got some like this, that's tremendous. So pop that off to the side. Also some red pepper here. You can use green pepper if you want. You can use orange pepper. The more colors that you're getting into your body, the better. So superfoods are those that are full of the most nutrients possible. And superfoods, I would even call peppers superfoods, even though they're not a goji berry or an acai berry or something like that, because they have such tremendous color and such tremendous antioxidant potential. And in case you haven't heard me before talk about antioxidants and what they can do for us, is when we have inflammation in our body, we need to kind of quell that fire, quell that inflammation. And the number one way to do that is to get antioxidants in us first. Then you go and have all of your other anti-inflammatory foods, your fish oils, the Omega Boost, which is part of my Take This line, for instance, or go make the fish cakes, which is one of the first recipes that I made in the Cook Together series. Have some salmon, have some trout, have some tuna, herring, mackerel, sardines. Those are all super anti-inflammatory foods that you can get into, as well as all your fruits and vegetables. So this little guy here is a zucchini, not really thought of by so many as something that you would have as a raw vegetable, really. So I love it because a little unlike a cucumber, it doesn't really have so much flavor. Sometimes I find that cucumber repeats on me. Doesn't do for, maybe not for everybody, but sometimes that happens with me. So I talked about this when I did the sweet potatoes the other day. So when you have something that's like this, wobbly around, just cut it so that you then have a flat surface. And then if you just start on one side and go across to the other side, it makes it much easier than when you get to a point where you're gonna chop your fingers off again. Then you just make that go flat, and then you've got a whole bunch of sticks sitting here so that then you can go across. And then once you've lined all of those sticks up, let me just finish this off because then I'm going to show you. I'm just going to do it all in one go. If I was to dice this, then I would put them together and then go across. So not doing that one today, but there we go. So these guys are all ready to go. They can go into my wraps as well. I'm going to pop those in next to the cucumber. And in case you haven't tried zucchini, it really doesn't have a very strong flavor to it, and which makes it great for dipping, putting on some sort of dip tray or veggie tray where you're got some dips going on. I'm going to make a dip, one of the dips from my book as well in the coming days. So here I have some beets. Can you believe that beets are definitely an unsung hero in the superfood category? And you actually find beet powder as a part of my superfood powder, my Kid Boost, and also the Skin Boost products that are in my Take This by Leanne line. So beets are a part of this product here. This is the Kid Boost, and then also you'll find the same thing in the Skin Boost. And this superfood powder, I have this every single day. It's better than a morning coffee. I've had people who have used this in the middle of the afternoon when they're just kind of starting to slope and they're like, oh my God, I just need a coffee or something. 1 or 2 scoops of this and bing, then you're just feeling absolutely alive again. So I've suggested this for people with sleep issues, because when we're under such stress, of course, our sleep kind of goes a bit out the window. Pair this with some magnesium that you'll find on sproutright.com, and it's absolutely incredible. So for kids who are resistant to all the colors that they need to have, adults who are resistant to all the colors that they need to eat from those incredible fruits and vegetables, and the wide variety that we need to have every single day, including the seaweeds and all the greens, spirulina, goji berries, acai berries, schizandra berries, which you may or may not have ever heard of. It's all in here, and it just goes into water or juice, and you drink it every day. So that's an incredible product for that antioxidant potential, that anti-inflammatory potential. Okay, so I want to show you what to do with a carrot. So if you have something like this, so this is a really groovy peeler that has some grooves in it. Of course, you can just chop it, but if you have something like this, or use a mandolin, if you have something like this, then you can just really quickly, kids love doing this, just watch out, because they, it might be a little bit sharp for them, but they can certainly hold on to one end of that carrot and just really get in there and get those really small, look at these little small pieces. I probably could have done this with the zucchini as well, but it's a little more tender, so kind of gets a bit mashed with this. I tried it with the beet, and that works great. So here we have a whole bunch of, look at these little carrots. They're fantastic to put into your rice wraps as well. So what else have I got here? So cucumber, I've already chopped some up just a little bit like I did with the zucchini. So same kind of thing. So here is a beautiful, if not a bit messy, I've got the beets in there. I've got 2 different colors of carrots. I've got 2 bits of green, some orange. So this is gonna make a tremendous rice paper wrap. Now here I have some rice noodles, not the most nutritious, but they certainly make these rice paper wraps super fun. So these are some thin rice noodles, vermicelli noodles. What I actually did was I boiled the kettle. Whoops, I boiled the kettle and then just had them in here, and here's the water where I drained them out from. So these guys are ready to go, and I actually just put a little bit of tamari on them because they're pretty, they don't really taste at all. And when you put a bit of tamari on there, if nobody wants any dip, it still just gives it a little bit of flavor. So we're gonna add some of those to it as well. So this is my lovely serving plate, but it actually fits this beautifully. So use whatever plate you can. And if you're gonna do this in on the table, because everybody in the family is going to make their own, which is fun, super fun to do. Then just put a plate in the middle, and everybody can sit there and wait their turn and put their hard rice paper wrap. So this would actually break if I held on to it and snapped it. So when you immerse this in water, a lot like with the rice noodles, they went into boiling water. I probably could have just used normal water. This water here could be warm or not, it does not matter. Then you're just trying to rehydrate it a little bit. So all of these little lines that you see here, eventually they're going to go away, and you'll see when I start to fill it. So these are, you find these in Japanese, Chinese restaurants, and they're actually super easy to make. And you can use just a normal like wheat-based wrap, but because these are stretchy and they're just kind of fun to have, and you can really jazz them up with pretty much anything can go in here. I'm gonna add in some protein of some chicken. A lot of the time I might add in shrimp, or smoked salmon is another favorite that we add in there, especially if my kids are taking these to school. And if they are taking them to school, then you do need to wrap them in something like parchment paper. So let me just flip my chopping board over, still a little bit damp, but that's okay. And then just lay that down. You can do this on a plate. Everybody can just have their plates here. So I do actually have some cilantro. I got an order today, so I've got some fresh cilantro. If I put this on the outside, then it's actually going to look really quite pretty, because you're going to see that on the outside. I'm going to put in some of the rice noodles. Now, if kids are making these on their own, it's quite possible they'll just make a rice wrap just with noodles in it, which, you know, some kids like to do because that's all they want to eat. But if before you start you talk about what's going to go in, how many colors need to be in each one of these, then that's probably ideal. So into it's going to go some beets, those super antioxidants from the beets, anti-inflammatory from the beets. They really are a tremendous food that don't really get talked about nearly enough. We've got some red peppers, some yellow peppers. So we don't want to pile them too high. We want to make them just kind of big enough. And then I'll put in a little bit of zucchini, a little bit of green in there. Did I get carrots yet? No. So put some carrots on top of this here, and then some cucumber. And I don't tend to put any sauce in the middle of this. I just kind of leave it like that. You can do this really in any order that you feel like. What else am I missing? I think I've got everything. Okay, and then what you need to do is you need to kind of, I mean, you can just roll it up kind of like a cigar right now, but if you make sure that one end you can just wrap like that, then not everything's gonna go shooting out the bottom. And then you come to the side, and then you just roll it over. You can stretch it. By now you can see that it's kind of really stretchy. Roll it up a little bit, just tighten it up a smidge. If you pull too hard, it does rip, so that's not so good. And then just keep on rolling, and presto, that is your rainbow rice wrap. And then if I find my knife, I can chop it in half. You don't have to chop it in half, but at least I will get to show you what is on the inside. Look at all that. Look at all those beautiful colors. Vibrant colors. So these rice paper wraps really, although they're not particularly nutritious, they're just a vehicle to get all those vegetables into one place. On this plate here, I have a lovely dip that I've made. You can just use straight soy sauce, but it tends to be pretty harsh. So into this, I've just thrown in a little bit of lemon juice. It cuts that super salty flavor of that. And then you can just dip and you're ready to go. So I hope that helps, gives you some inspiration. Let me pop that here. And I'm just gonna move these guys over. They get a bit sticky. These are definitely something that's great to make and eat fairly quickly, unless you put them in a container with some parchment paper or some, I guess you can use plastic wrap as well. I don't tend to use plastic wrap too much. You can use wax paper just to keep them separate if you're probably not right now, but going out and about. But they do need to have the moisture contained, because otherwise then they go back to being super hard like this. So it's best if you make them and then eat them, you know, kind of within about half an hour. You can, or just straight away, it doesn't matter. But if you're gonna save them for later on, then they definitely need to be sort of airtight and covered as much as possible. I tend to just make them super quick and then we eat them and then that's dinner. Oh, I forgot to put chicken in them. I would have laid, here's my leftover chicken from my roast chicken last night, and then you can just lay the chicken in there as well. Totally forgot about that, but that's okay. So thank you so much for being along today. If you have any particular questions, please type them in the comments below. And if you're after my book, Sprout Right, Family Food with 130 Recipes, you can check out sproutright.com. You can get it from Indigo Chapters, Amazon, anywhere that you get your books for. And I'm just going to quickly tell you about some of the important supplements, that the two especially, which are really, really important for viruses, for really helping your body right now, that are talked about in you know, all over the place, really, for keeping your immune system super, super strong. So that's vitamin C. You'll find that at the in my Take This by Leanne Alka-C, and there's also zinc in there, which is also incredible because there's so many minerals in this, and it's a buffered vitamin C, which means you can take much higher levels without getting that digestive discomfort or loose stools, which can happen when you take a lot of vitamin C. And then the Sunshine D3 and K2 is actually a liposome spray, so a lot of the absorption happens in the mouth and doesn't have to get all the way down to the liver to be absorbed. So right now it's super gray here in Toronto. I'm not taking on any sunshine, so that's when this becomes so much more important, and typically why we get a lot more flus and sickness over the winter time, because the sun is not out, we're not taking on that vitamin D. So the D3K2 is exceptionally important right now for everything to do with immunity. I'm taking 10 to 20 sprays of this, which is 10,000 IUs to 20,000 IUs a day, to keep my immune system super boosted, and the same thing with my kids. So it's really, really easy. I'm not taking, 20 pills every day. And the absorption of this is honestly second to none with that liposome spray that's all happening really in my mouth. So these two are a part of the Immune Boost package, which is on my website. So please check out sproutright.com, click through on there. There's all sorts of videos under each individual product if you want some more information, but don't hesitate to reach out and ask some questions. I've had some people email and say, are you still sending out your supplements? Absolutely, they're still going in the mail and they're still landing into your mailbox. So absolutely, you can still continue to order those. So, and then of course we've got the Kid Boost, and then also the Bio Boost. There's 4 products which are in the Immune Boost, but the Bio Boost, which is the probiotic sneaky way to get immunity up by going into the digestive system, because 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So thanks so much for being along today with me, and look out for more recipes, for more cook together coming up. Every day I'm here at around 5 o'clock, technology permitting, because sometimes we've had some issues. And then if you also subscribe to my newsletter on either leannephillipson.com or sproutright.com, then we're going to send them all out to you, and also send you the recipes every single day if you don't happen to be on social media and you're kind of missing out and you're not keeping up. So you can also check those out and sign up for the newsletter there too. All right, have a great evening. Keep up that super healthy eating around the snacking that's going on. These make a tremendous snack too. So I look forward to seeing you on our next Cook Together video. Take care.